you don't care about them. But it leads a lot of questions.
I don't want to get canceled.
We'll just leave it at that.
I like this way.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Baltimore's best podcast, Inappropriate. I'm Jim.
Now I'm Steve.
And Steve would like to apologize.
Yeah, I decided to go watch the Orioles lose the wild card round of the playoffs. Apologies. I would have not been sorry
If we won. Yeah, no.
But, you know.
Luckily, we don't get paid for this, Steve.
Yeah.
Or I should say, unluckily.
And luckily, I checked with the co-host, and he was okay with it. Sorry we had no episode last week. It's my fault.
Actually, Steve, today is a very special day. I was going to save it for later, but this episode might get a little crazy. So I figured let me just say it now.
All right.
Do you know what this episode is?
Is this Mark since Joe's been gone?
It is.
It's 1 year?
No, not 1 year. We have the exact amount of episodes without Joe as we do.
Oh my
with
gosh, that's kind of a weird weird feeling. Somebody the other day was asking me just in a random conversation brought up something, and I said, "Oh, we did an episode on that." Oh, it was the episode with Betty White Stripes when I played the recorder.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, "Oh, I played a recorder to this song, and this song's really hard to sing." And then they were like, "What episode was that?" And I was like, "It was Jim, Joe, Steve show." And they're like, "Oh, that's before I started listening." I was like, "Well, go back and listen to it."
We did put out some great episodes with Jim, Joe, Steve show.
Yes.
And maybe we'll have Joe back soon, as a special guest. Before we get into the craziness of this episode.
Oh, and it's crazy.
If you listen to, I think it might be one of our best overall listened to episodes when we played Vacation or Molestation.
Yes.
Pertaining to the Epstein flight logs. We have a round 2 of that coming up.
We do have a round 2. And if you can put 2 and 2 together, you can figure out who it involves.
Let's save the title until we get there.
Yes.
We wish we didn't have to do these game shows. Some of the names floored that they're on this list.
It was an insane list looking at it and just seeing some of the names on it. Some of the people I don't know.
Before that,
You had a busy weekend.
it was a wonderful weekend.
It looked like it.
I went to a music festival called Country Calling. And I haven't been to an actual music festival since 1999. The well talked about Woodstock. It's been obviously 25 years since I've been to a music festival.
Has it really been that long?
I mean, it's 1999 to 2024.
Yeah, I mean, the math checks out.
Festivals have come a long way.
How so?
I have the good and the bad and the ugly recap of the Country Calling Festival. And if you were there amongst, the other 55,000 attendees, I would imagine people have maybe similar stories.
Yeah.
Above all, wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
The weather could not have been more perfect.
It is nice that it is like mid 70s in Baltimore in October.
It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, actually at one point during the day, it was a little too hot. But I kept reminding myself.
Your cowboy boots were sweating.
Unfortunately, no cowboy boots.
You didn't wear cowboy boots?
It was on the beach.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
Horrible idea. Although there were plenty of cowboy boots.
I'm sure there were plenty of cowboy boots.
And
you didn't even wear a cowboy hat.
No, nothing. I was dressed for comfort.
You look like you could have been at any festival from the pictures. I think you were wearing that T-shirt.
Well, I have 8 of these T-shirts, but yes, I was wearing this T-shirt. We went to the Country Callings Festival,
which was in Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City, Maryland, like actually on the beach. And I've been saying this for years to like my wife. Like, I don't know why Ocean City doesn't do this. Like, why can't they bring in huge acts? It would be great. Like, do it off season.
So is it at the like inlet? So is it like the parking lot?
So they had 3 different stages, but yes, it started at that area in the like the main parking lot all the way down at the inlet.
Yeah.
Then right before the big Ferris wheel, there was another stage. And then,
Is that the main stage?
No, the main stage was beyond the Ferris wheel.
Okay.
Like up on maybe Division Street. So it was all it was a huge
Oh, that's
area.
pretty big. Yeah.
And they did a good job where you couldn't hear one act. If there was 2 acts going. And then they had certain areas of the boardwalk blocked off. So you kind of enter. If you got on the boardwalk, you were already in the festival.
Oh, okay.
So you couldn't just hang out and watch the festival.
See, that's what I wondered about that because I was like, I would go and just hang out at like the Purple Moose.
You had to get into the festival to get to the Purple Moose.
Oh, really?
And then the Purple Moose had their own cover.
Oh, that's kind of shitty.
And then Cork Bar also had their own cover.
Wow.
So the way that they did it, and it was smart because they had a cover. We paid $10, and then it went up to 20 if the later you went. But their drink prices were the same price.
Okay.
So you could just kind of pop. We popped over to the Purple Moose.
I love how you're at a country festival and you cannot escape the Purple Moose. Like you love it so much.
It's great. You could get normal drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it was a good meeting place.
Yeah.
And then you pop back over and so forth. Like $30 if you wanted a mixed drink. Not at the Purple Moose, but at the festival.
Okay.
So we thought, we got to do better. And by we, it was obviously my wife and I, my neighbor Brad, his wife Becky, and then Stacy and Justin, good friends of ours. And then we met up with my sister and my cousin Jason and his wife. Like there was more people than I could hang out with.
There was a lot of people I saw that were there.
Brad's wife Becky got these breast milk bags, like pump bags.
Yeah.
That hold obviously breast milk,
Yeah.
but they seal really good and they're kind of like long tubular. We got a bottle of vodka and we got a bottle of Captain Morgan. Each bag held, I think, 12 ounces. So we would fill them up. My neighbor Brad put a couple down his pants. My wife put 2 in her bra. Becky put 2 in her bra. And like we got in, with a bunch of liquor.
Nothing like a whole bunch of upper middle class white people trying to sneak in liquor.
Yeah, I know. But we did buy a couple drinks because beers were $16, but they were the big ones, so they broke down to about $8 for 24 ounces. They weren't too bad.
Gosh, that is expensive. That is so expensive.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to do the bit where you bury it in the sand, and then you mark it, and then you go back and dig up your bottle.
The problem
of
is you would have to get there before the first festival.
Oh yeah,
because it was already all blocked up.
Yeah, because the stages were already set up.
I thought security would be more. I mean, of course, you go through the metal detectors as well, but nobody was patting you down. Like it would just, And I would just go get a Diet Coke, asking for some ice, and then we would just mix it up ourselves.
Excuse me, can I get this Diet Coke, but only fill it up halfway, please?
They give you a can.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. And all the rides were free.
I had questions about that, so.
This company manages 55,000 people immaculate. Like they had probably 400 spot pots. So you never had to wait in line. And they were solid. I mean, they flushed.
Oh,
you know
really?
What I mean?
Yeah. They weren't Bobby's potties?
No. I don't even know. They were all hooked, I guess, connected or something.
Yeah.
And they had an attendant. They kind of had a bunch of little horseshoes, as far as like all the way around. And they had an attendant just bounce around and clean it out. So I never went into spot a pot that was not clean.
Now, was that beginning of the day, middle of the day?
I mean, all
throughout the day.
Throughout the day.
All
throughout
right,
the festival.
yeah, that's pretty good.
First day, I was like, I got to go for it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
spot pots were so clean. I didn't do that the second day, and I actually went into the spot pot.
You're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
they
good
get
on them.
A+ for that.
That is a big thing to have clean porta potties, and that's tough to do with 55,000 people.
Right. The drink lines, they had massive amounts of places selling. I mean, all sold the same shit. The most I think I waited was maybe 4 people in front of me.
Oh, really?
And there was plenty of times it was like a person would leave and I was just as I walk up. Like they had so many people.
Insanely impressive.
And the food lines, the same exact. I don't think I even waited for anybody going up to the food lines.
That is insane because it's always those things when you go to a festival or like a fair or any kind of event. it almost like if you wanted to have a couple drinks, it's almost always like you wait in line. By the time you either order two,
Right.
or
You just go in the back of the line if you get
feel
one,
like
and
you
you
got to
just
go in the back of the
yeah.
line. Yeah.
I guess the bad of the festival, and it's not really bad. It's expected, but it's one of those things that you see this lineup of, 50 acts, and you're like, oh, this is great. But you either have to like sell out yourself for one, like if you wanted to see Jelly Roll, you were at the front of his stage like an hour or 2 hours before,
Yeah.
and you forego watching one of the other two, that were happen to be playing.
I'm glad you picked the guy I actually did know who he is.
Yeah. Here's a quirky little funny story. After he got done performing, he's the headliner.
Oh, he was like the big.
He was the headliner for day
wow.
one. Technically, I think Eric Church was, but Jelly Roll and Eric Church and Lainey Wilson and Tyler Childers was the second. But anyway, so he's one of the biggest acts. Even in the country, as far as country music goes. And after his performance, he got in his own Chevy Traverse and drove himself back to wherever he was staying. Like there's video of people pulling up to a stoplight and like, oh shit, Jelly Roll, and you get out and he was signing shit for people.
Dude, that's fucking wild.
Yeah. So the way that we played it is we all stuck together for the most part, but if you don't sell out yourself ahead of time, you're pretty much in the back of every performance.
Could you hear everything?
Oh yeah. You could hear it fine, but if you wanted to, catch some sweat off of Riley Green's face like all the girls wanted to, there's no way you're fighting through the crowd once it starts. Like
now,
it's just you can't.
I feel like the crowds at a country music festival, I don't feel like there's a lot of like shoving to get up to the front. Am I wrong about that?
No, but it was. I think this festival, the sheer amount of people.
Yeah, it just the space is limited. It just gets crowded. I don't know. So we could see and we could hear, but that was just the only thing. Normally, when I go to a concert, I always try to get good seats. Yeah.
And in a festival, you don't really get that.
Yeah, you just kind of got it. Unless you want to be those people up against the rail that could possibly die if there's a surge going forward. Was there an artist that you watched that you didn't think was going to be awesome, but they turned out to be like your favorite?
Ella Langley, I thought was pretty good. I have
no clue.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was, although her like popular song, like I was like, oh, okay, I knew that one. But she was a pretty good entertainer. People that held up that I was really looking forward to see, the Red Clay Strays, because they have such a unique sound that it was like, that could be produced. You know what I mean? Like they might have got that sound in the studio because the lead singer has such a voice. Like you would think he was reborn from like the 50s. And it was, they were on point and they were great. And then Warren Ziders was also one that I thought was on point. Like those two are my kind of favorite. We seen some chick called Dasha. I didn't know any of her.
Doja Cat?
Yeah. She's basically, without sounding disrespectful, she was a Taylor Swift light.
Oh, okay.
I feel like she got signed because she's tall, skinny, blonde, very likable, cheery, and she had this tiny little skirt on. Tiny. I mean, it might as well it's not even been there.
Yeah.
And then I did actually know her good song, but yeah, she was cool. She was very appreciative of being, in front of a large, crowd. She said they had a show on Friday night in Texas, in Austin. After the show at midnight, they got on a plane, flew to BWI, rented a car, and drove 3 hours to the festival.
Yeah,
and then performed. And then, of course, we saw Riley Green. The girls loved him, and he was cool. Bally Zimmerman was cool. He did a lot of leg dancing. It's kind of hard to explain.
Like Elvis Presley?
Just like, I don't know, jumping up and kicking his legs out. Like I don't know. It was kind of weird. It was kind of a cross between like David Lee Roth.
Yeah. Okay.
And Elvis. Yeah. If you can imagine those two. Like a lot of like sidekicks and stuff, but he put on a good show. He was cool. He had my damn shorts on.
Really?
Yeah, I wore them better, but tell him.
They fit tighter in the front on you. I did see a video or picture of you on bumper cars.
All the rides were free.
Uh-huh.
And my wife got this great idea, like, hey, let's go do some drunken rides. So we were like, oh, yeah, sounds like fun.
It always sounds like fun.
The bumper cars were great. You know, I mean, it was all no kids. So it wasn't like it was just all drunk adults just getting on bumper cars.
Yeah, because there is never, if you get on bumper cars, it's usually with your kids. Or there's other kids and you're like, I can't really just fucking plow into this kid.
Right.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. My wife is drinking her beer while we're doing bumper cars. You know what I mean?
Oh, they didn't even make you put the drink away?
No.
Oh, it's fucking pandemonium in Ocean City.
It was a free-for-all. And then my wife said, let's get on the roller coaster. And I don't know if you've ever been on the roller coaster at the end of the pier. Not the tidal wave. That's like the big one. It's yellow and red at the pier, that Jolly Roger area. But it's very rough. I mean, it bangs you up.
Yeah.
And I'd been on once before, and I had lost my hat, and they stopped the ride. I'm like, dude, I'll pay you because that's the only hat that fits me. And they did. They got it for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, my wife said, let's do this. So we got on it, and I videotaped that. I put it on my Instagram or whatever. I couldn't hear it at the time because obviously I'm drunk on a roller coaster. My wife's sitting next to me, and you just hear her the whole time going, ow, fuck. God, my neck, my back, oh, fuck. And she was Batman the next day.
Oh, she
could not move
from
her.
A 30-second fucking ride.
Dude, she has like the salon passes on her back now. Like she can't move. And I just told her, I said, listen, it sucks that you feel this way, but I am so glad that you're the one that recommended getting on the roller coaster and not me, because had it been me, it would have been lights out.
I would have no interest in any of the music acts, but I kind of was a little bit jealous I didn't go, because I was like, it would just been fun to just go and not expect anything and not care about any of the music.
You would have had a blast. Like, it was just bouncing around. We watched a couple here, a couple there. We went Purple Moose.
Yeah.
We discovered we didn't go to the Cork Bar because their cover was $10 anyway, and Purple Moose I think is just a better vibe.
Yeah.
Unless you're just you want to sit down and drink. That's all. We discovered a new bar. We didn't discover it because it's been there, but it's called The Bar.
It's directly on the boardwalk.
Yes.
Right? And it's like right before you get to Harrison's.
It's all the way at the end.
Yes.
Well, the south.
So it looks almost like a diner from what
It's half diner.
Okay.
Half bar.
I've seen it. Never been in there.
We've never been in there either, but we had heard like, hey, if you want to get stop by and get something to eat, or drink prices are great. And we walked in, and there's just something. You traveled back in time.
Yeah.
But in like a good way. There's wood paneling on the walls.
Yes.
They have a basic menu. It was like BLT, hamburger, cheeseburger, fries, macaroni, cheese, whatever. But all of everything is on the old light up boards, the little light box, and they had the individual letters you put up.
Yeah.
And it says like advertising Pepsi or whatever on it. Like, it's all super old school, little bags of chips hanging up. And they had a telephone booth in there. like you could sit down. Like, it was just all old school, fucking awesome. I will be back to that bar.
I've always wanted to go in there because there's never, I mean, probably at a festival it's different, but there's usually never anyone in there.
And it's hard. It's not necessarily a reason to go all the way down there when you have Cork Bar, Purple Moose.
Yeah.
And by you would have to pass every other bar in Ocean City to get there. Speaking of the bar, someone has lowered the bar in the music industry.
Yes.
I cannot wait to play this game.
Yes.
A brand new game show, parlaying off of the Epstein game show that we did maybe 6 months ago. Go back and listen to that, because that one was maybe our best rated and highly listened to episode ever. But we're going to break records with this one.
Yes. We are going to play, I forgot the name.
Leave by 9 or stay for a good time.
As many of you know, a rapper by the name of P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean
Puffy.
Combs, Puffy, has gotten himself in a little bit of hot water. They also pulled out 1,000 bottles of lubes from his house. I believe it's 120 allegations against him right now.
Something like that.
And he has realized that I'm not going to be the only one that takes the fall.
Well, what's funny about the lube is his lawyer tried to say that P. Diddy buys his lube in bulk from Costco.
Yeah.
But Costco came out and was like, no, we don't sell our lube in bulk. Like they were like, you're not tying us to this thing.
You're not fucking putting
So
us
then
in.
it just made it even weirder because where did he get all his lube?
Yes.
Like, does he have a lube guy?
He's definitely got a lube guy. I saw a video recently of, like, he showed, like, one of his parties. It was a bed in his backyard.
Oh, it's humongous.
It was a humongous
It was
bed.
like 4 trampolines if you tied them together and put a
Yes.
mattress on it. Like
Yes.
that's how big this thing
It was so fucking big. And he had, after 9 o'clock, he would have these things called freak offs. And fucking apparently everything went down.
The fact that they are on this list is a fact that they were at a Diddy party
Yes. So they
at least one time.
Yes, at least one time.
So we are not saying for sure if they left by 9 or if they stayed for a good time.
We are just going to make assumptions.
This is all assumptions, and people are innocent until proven guilty, along
Yes.
with P. Diddy.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yeah, he's not guilty yet.
Hopefully that our lawyers like that disclaimer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Without further ado,
All right, you ready to play?
Leave by 9 or stay and have a good time.
surprise me with the first one.
First one. These names have been linked already. Jay-Z and Beyonce.
If you remember back in the Epstein episode, I actually said I think Jay-Z and Beyonce are the next to go down.
Yes, I do remember that.
So I am hardcore saying they stayed for a good time.
Yes. Now, do you think Jay-Z was like with Diddy?
Yes, sir.
See that?
Or do you think he strictly was with whatever else was going down?
I don't see Jay-Z as being gay.
I don't either.
He doesn't give that vibe.
Jigga man.
Do you think he allowed tons of guys to rail Beyonce?
See,
Yes, sir.
and that's a weird thing too because I don't see that. But then it's like they are a power couple, and you start seeing all these people that you don't think would be involved, and it's like it kind of is a cult. So,
Yes, sir.
and I almost feel like to get riled at a Diddy party, it's almost like pay your dues.
Yes, and that's what I feel like a lot of these people are
That's
like,
the vibe I
dude.
get from the people who were voluntold, what they're going to
Yes.
be partaking in tonight. I think Jay-Z may be sitting in the chair going, Brooklyn.
But I do feel like Beyonce has probably seen Diddy's penis.
I feel like Beyonce is the type that would want to direct.
Okay, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I am definitely going to say they stayed after 9.
They stayed for a good time.
They stayed for a good time.
Bad boy.
Aretha Franklin.
Oh, gosh.
She's so old.
She ain't interested in any of that.
That's why I
She's
feel like
so
she
old
left
school.
by 9.
Yeah, she left by 9. She's too old school for that.
All right.
She was invited to give it a little respect.
Yeah. All right. Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney Kardashian.
They stayed for a good time.
They stayed for a good time. I don't even think I've watched Kim be intimate with people, so I am gonna say she definitely stayed for a good time.
Yeah, she's just famous for being famous.
Yes.
Right. I mean, obviously she's broke off and made the best of it, but yeah, I think she definitely stayed for a good time.
Bad boy.
This person was on the Epstein list. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I saw pictures of him on the bed with Diddy. Now I don't think he went Diddy's way.
I don't think he's Diddy's type.
I don't think he's Diddy's type either.
I feel like DiCaprio, He was there for a good time.
Yeah.
Bad boy.
Ashton Kutcher.
He has been drugged through the dirt regarding this. Like him and Mila Kunis or whatever her last name is. Because he used to brag, I think, publicly about being invited to the Diddy parties. I think he said something along the lines like he can't talk about some of the stuff. So I feel like he definitely stayed for a good time.
I think so too.
Bad boy.
Usher. I think Usher's going to end up being
The poster child of this.
because Justin Bieber's on this list, and the allegations are like Justin Bieber was probably diddled.
Well, so was Usher.
Yes, Usher signed off like 48 hours of parental rights to Diddy of Justin Bieber.
Right. So, and it's hard to say why, right? Because you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Usher definitely had to, quote unquote, pay his dues in the Diddy house.
Yeah.
And maybe he was getting kind of tired of it. Or he was having enough success himself where he had a little power.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy goes, well, find me your replacement.
I like this right.
Here's this little boy.
And he takes fucking Bieber,
Yeah.
And hands him off to the fucking predator P. Diddy.
Yeah. I almost want to put Usher in the caveat of stays for a good time, but is a victim of circumstance.
But only because he would need to be self-serving to get himself out from under the ball sack of Diddy.
Bad boy.
The implications on this next one is a little bit weird. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson has AIDS.
Not anymore. Like, he went to fucking Mexico or some weird shit back in the 90s and got cured.
Yeah. I almost want to say he had to leave by 9 because he wasn't allowed to stay.
I think he stayed for a good time.
Yeah.
Or he tried.
Bad boy.
Keith Richards.
Oh, I feel like homeboy be in bed by 9.
I know, he's so old.
I say fuck it. He left at 9.
He left at 9. I'll go with that. Jennifer Lopez. This is why Ben's gonna get rid of her.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he saw the writing on the wall and was like, I ain't gonna be a part of this shit when it goes down.
Yeah, 'cause she was married to Diddy or dated Diddy for a
that's
long
right.
time. So I think she is a 100%. They had a good time.
She's involved more than just a name on a list.
Yeah, like she could have been like she got the other Fly Girls to go.
Bad boy.
Martha Stewart. Now, she's probably the 10% on this list that's probably done jail time.
I tell you what, the weird thing about Martha Stewart is she was, I don't even know what to say, like America's sweetheart, because that wasn't true, but like America's grandmother or America's great aunt or whatever.
Yeah.
She's fucking gangster.
Yeah,
You know what I
she
mean?
is.
Like there's a lot that you don't know about Martha that goes on. And it's odd. The older she is, I'm not saying she's attractive, but she is an attractive, how
I understand what you're saying.
grandmother
Yeah,
or whatever.
yes.
Like she looks better now than before jail.
Yeah.
So I don't
She's
know
got
what
street cred now.
right. And she hanging out with Snoop Dogg and shit.
Yeah, she's fucking.
I don't know. Like who's banging Martha at a Diddy party?
Yeah, I want to say she left by 9.
Yeah, left by
So-
9.
Ellen DeGeneres.
She has a reputation of
she's
just
like a
being
bitch.
bitch.
Yeah.
So I feel like, but what are these people doing? Not everybody's getting bent over. Like you know what I mean? Like
They're bending the people over too.
right. Is it just like a big orgy?
I think it's a big orgy, and it's
A
just
big
there's-
celebrity orgy? These tapes are going to come out.
Yeah,
There's going to be. There's already audio tape of Puffy fucking Meek Mill or Meek Mill fucking Puffy. I don't know.
Is
I don't know.
is that real?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's alleged.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody deny it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Bad boy.
Now this one is another one that's been highly brought up. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
Well, they're known swingers.
Yeah, they're known swingers.
So yeah, I think they stayed for a good time.
That's gonna pop up.
Bad boy.
Howard Stern.
He left by 9.
I think he left by 9 too.
He's always talking about how he doesn't
tired
go.
he is.
He doesn't want to go out to any of these, but like his wife makes him, or his manager tells he has to make an
because she's on
appearance.
this list too. But I would say they were there and then left.
They
by
left
9.
by 9.
Yeah.
Bad boy.
Nick Cannon.
Can I derail this for 1 second?
Yeah.
Because when I saw this Nick Cannon family tree, it blew me away. Real quick, run down the list of names of his kids. With Mariah Carey, he has 2 kids, Monroe and Moroccan. With Brie, Legendary Love.
That's 2 kids?
No, that's 1 kid.
Fuck it. I hate celebrity fucking kids' names. That's why they're all going to be fucked up.
He has 3 kids with Abby De La Rosa, Zion, Zillion, and Beautiful.
Oh,
He has 2 with Alyssa Scott, Zen, and Halo Maria. Brittany Bell, he has 3 kids with Golden Sagan, Powerful Queen, and Rise Messiah. And to round out the list, Lanisha Cole, he has 1 kid with, and the name is Onyx Ice Cole.
Onyx Ice Cold, get the fuck in here.
He has 12 kids by...
But he's got 24 names.
6 different baby mamas.
That is fucking just insane. Oh my God.
Why? So he stayed.
Yeah, he definitely
Stayed for a good time.
He's probably got kids in this fucking thing.
Bad boy.
All right, we have enough time for... Give me 3 more.
All right.
Blow me away by these 3.
All right. I'm going to say off the bat right now, left by 9. I can't believe it. R. Kelly. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Dude just chugging water
Him
and
and Diddy
pissing
are
on
going to be
everybody.
sharing a cell.
Yeah.
So.
Bad boy.
All right. One person is running for president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Oh, homeboy be getting his.
Yeah, I think he stayed after.
Especially if this was back in the 90s or early 2000s before he, I'd say as crazy as people might think he is, I think he's a rather vanilla guy. He doesn't drink, and I believe that he's never had a drop of alcohol. Like he's maintained that forever.
Yeah.
So I think he's a rather dry guy on both senses of the word. I don't think that anyone would want to fuck around with Donald Trump in that way. You know what I mean? I don't think that anybody would have gave him anything.
I can't picture Donald Trump in the middle of the bed, butt naked, with legs all around.
He's got his hairstylist with him. Make sure it does.
And him just acting like fucking Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, flexing in the mirror.
It was a big orgy.
Lots of dicks.
Dicks everywhere.
It doesn't bode well for Diddy because it's just like Vince McMahon's on this list.
Oh,
And
he's the biggest piece of shit.
And he's a big piece of shit.
Bad boy.
So we'll end with this one. Not the biggest shocking name. I mean, you don't care about him. But it leads a lot of questions. Reverend Al Sharpton.
I don't want to get canceled.
We'll just leave it at that.
All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with Baltimore's Best Podcast. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And we will see you next week.
Hey.
If we don't get canceled.
Got a monster inside of me. You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me and he gets cause real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Loves the blood and gold, always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force of war.